to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he die live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. Man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Free man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, mold. man has the right to live by his own law. To live in the way that he wills to do. To work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. To man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Every man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to like what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, mold as he will, to dress as he will. For man has the right to love as he. At life 51, man has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights. The slave shall serve. Love is the law. Love under will. Love is the law. Love under will. Love is the law. Love under will. Oh, love is the law. Love under Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. Man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will,
chasing, they'll freeze and the predators will kill them and be distracted by that, and all of the strong members of the group will get away.
So when I ask these questions like how important do you think the will to survive is, how important do you think is the continuation of the human race, the prevention of the extinction of the human race, um, I'm I'm not asking if you're making like active efforts toward that goal. You don't have to be. It's more about your mindset that I'm asking for, that I'm wanting to know. So, yeah, it does sound a little hypocritical, but I'm more interested in your mentality about it all, your outlook, not so much whether you're actually contributing. Like your values, your personal values. Um, because I've talked to some people.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I think it depends on what your definition of the survival of the human race is, right? When I do things like talk about post-theism, and I talk about how the God concept is like preventing change, right, within the human social sort of system in some ways. It's creating these little choke points, it's slowing things down. People get really, 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 and they're not defending God. You could tell they're defending humanity because they don't think a humanity that's significantly different from what we experience right now is still human. They think of that as death, right? And it's, I'm just like, bring it on. Like, and they're like, well, what are you working towards? And I'm like, well, if it's a social singularity, right? We don't know what's on the other side. You can't predict it. So it's kind of like, it's like I was talking about earlier with the organized complexity, right? That it, you cannot, like the model breaks down back into chaos and reorganizes into something you wouldn't recognize, right? So, um, yeah, it's some people, their idea of the preservation of humanity is more like stasis, right? My idea of the preservation of humanity is dynamic change, even if I don't feel comfortable with or recognize what would be on the other side of that change.
mm. Well, to put it simply, the preservation of humanity, when it all boils down to it, is the continuation of living life. And, you know, all of us here, we're all grown ups, right?
But have
Um,
you have you have you watched the Ridley Scott sort of like short-lived television series called Raised by Wolves?
no.
On that, in that show, it's very science fictiony. You're on Kepler 22b. It's like these last stragglers, survivors of a massive like planet extinguishing war on Earth, are fleeing to colonize this planet. And the first people to arrive are these two androids with a bunch of embryos, and then the second group is a bunch of religious zealots who have managed to build. They have the more technology and have gotten on a ship, and very select few get to go. But um, they discover on this planet that there's like sort of these like echoes of exactly what happened on Earth that had happened like hundreds of thousands of years before, or even like millions before. And they actually find an android that uses the same technology but is much more advanced than they are. And she, right? It's the two androids are named Mother and Father, and then the android they find is called Grandmother, or they call it Grandmother for that reason. And she, right? They give her, first of all, she has some technology that removes all of her ability to process emotion or have empathy, so that she can like execute on her tasks, right? And her sole purpose is to preserve what at the time was humanity on that planet, right? What she did was what we would consider devolve them into more resilient, sort of animal-like creatures, in a couple of different strains. Like some are like these weird little dumb tree-dwelling trolls, and um, ish. I don't know. It's hard to explain. And these others are like these like they live in this like acid sea, and they've like developed skin, and they're kind of like mermaids, but I don't know. It's hard to explain. Anyway, but the whole idea is like these two species that she's created from the seeds of humanity, right, are terrifying to human beings. And yet that is how humanity survived.
Okay, so you were kind of describing the show there. What's the name of the show?
Raised by wolves.
All right. Um, yeah. So, Cora, what about you? Where do you stand in all this?
What about, I missed the first part. What did you say?
Like, how important do you think it is for humanity to continue to exist?
I think in the grand scheme of things, human beings as a species, as we exist right now, sans change is not very important at all. I think that, maybe the presence of life as an emergent property of the universe might feed into some bigger process. But again, the universe is going to decay and be reimagined. I don't know, imagine, I hate using words like that. Reformed or in different states, different state or different states. So like this idea of importance, I think, is a very, at the universal scale, it's not a thing. The universe just is. It does its thing. It's kind of like asking how important a single liver cell is to a human being. Not very important.
But many such liver cells, when they decay, the liver decays.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be like analogous to like all potential life in the universe decaying. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if that one liver cell gets an infection, is infected, then it infects the rest of the liver cells, and therefore creates a demise. And in that, there's so much importance that the cell holds.
Yeah, until you start thinking about, well, the dead living thing simply decays and new living things spring forth from it, So it's like, really, is it really that important? I don't know.
Is it really dying?
Yeah.
Is it really a demise?
Exactly. I don't think of it as a demise. Like, and this is like, again, the attachment thing. Like, people are so attached to the idea of their consciousness persisting, or their, even like the collective consciousness of humanity persisting, and like,
even like, that.
Yeah, everything's just recycled,
But that in the moment, it holds value.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. That moment of the generous now.
And it's funny, like every time a photon like hits your body, you're literally like experiencing, or you're connected to everywhere that photon goes, the entire path of it, because that photon doesn't experience time. It's like at all places it will ever be at once. It's fabulous. Go stand in the sun. Connect to all the far reaches of the universe.
Black hole sun, won't you come? Take away the rain, black hole sun. Won't you come? Won't you come? Won't you come?
Sorry, I had to take a call. I don't know if you heard me.
What is
No,
neat
it
about
audio when you're on the phone.
whose audio?
What's that?
Oh, Grim said he was taking a call.
Yeah, I cut the audio.
Unless you were on a different phone, then we would be able to hear you. But if you're on the same phone you're running Clubhouse on, it cuts off your audio.
I tried answering a call on this phone. I have another phone, but it didn't stop the audio, so I couldn't hear the person I was talking to.
Weird. What kind of phone? Do you buy Android or?
Yeah, it's a Samsung Galaxy S20.
Oh yeah, the Android app is a lot more buggy than the Apple one. Yeah. Shut the fuck up, Toby.
But I missed most of what you said there. But
I don't know. You're gonna sit at the feet of the guru. You gotta pay attention. You know. Saying, just kidding. I'm not that profound.
But how important do you think is humans' will to fight for their survival?
Like I was saying, it's not important at all in the grand scheme of things. Like,
women objectively don't know what it means to survive, fight for survival. That's like a masculine actually aspect. Women don't know what it's like to survive.
He's a shit who birthed you and survived through all that pain. You piece of shit.
Women exist solely on the willpower of men to exist and survive themselves. That's it.
You know, I had a thought.
I'm starting to think red pills are just giant dicks, right? Like, and like these red pill guys are just sucking on these red dicks, big red dicks.
Joseph's liking now. He's getting imagery.
Yeah, Greer, go ahead.
Oh, I don't even follow these new terminologies. I call them like Gen Z slang, red pill, blue pill, black pill. Like I don't follow any of this stuff. I don't know about names like what's his name? Andrew Tate. I don't know any names. I don't know any.
I know all about.
I don't
Andrew
follow
Tate.
any of that.
It's just because
No.
I've actually been to Romania and I've experienced many Andrew Tates in my life.
My whole point is like I'm a millennial. You know, I'm a mix of millennials are a mix of old school and new school. But I don't keep up with like all the new ways people talk, young people talk.
Sweetie, I'm Gen X. Like seriously, like.
You know what really bugs me is when people say bro every time they end their sentences.
Oh, that's especially. I found it quite prevalent in the southern U.S., right? Like kind of like Atlanta, and also among like Arabian Peninsula populations, bro, and South Asians too, like.
Bro.
Bro.
What's up, bro? Bro. Mommy.
But but about the how much we should care about the survival of humanity, I also pose this idea, like maybe if as long as there's some other sentient life out there in the universe, even if it's not us humans, you know, if you're satisfied with that, maybe you'd be okay with it.
Hard, bro. You just have to like eliminate those who are leading humanity to its extinction, aka Donald Trump, for example, once you take that out of the equation, you'll start to see like things flourishing, flowers blooming, animals singing, and birds chirping, and fish swimming.
Okay. So I pose this to contrast why, as you said, Cora, in the grand scheme of things, it wouldn't matter if humans continue to exist or not. So it's a selfish desire. Like I kind of boiled it down to that in my mind. Like I realized that my desire for the human race to continue is a selfish one. It's like how people are nationalistic, right? They're very proud and they defend their country. It's with that similar spirit that I want for humanity as a whole.
The attachment is basically interlinked and scales up. So like, I think in some ways there's every person has their limitation on at what scale they'd be willing to sacrifice themselves, right? Like, so like, super selfish people wouldn't sacrifice themselves for anybody. Their individual continuation. If everyone else dies and they get to continue, that's the most important thing, right? And then you get people that are like, well, they do it to save their family. There's people that would sacrifice their lives to save community members. There's people that would do it on a national scale, like fight wars, and this all scales up. And there's people that do it to save all of what they consider save all of humanity. And then there's people like me that are like, fuck it, none of this matters, right? I don't need to continue. Nobody needs to continue. Just let shit play out like it's gonna play out. So, yeah.
Again, I'm not so focused on what kinds of actual efforts you make toward contributing to the cause of continuation. It's more of your attitude. It's more of like, how much do you care? That's what
I
I'm
just told you
focused
my
on.
attitude. Like, do I care? It's a gradation, and it depends on the moment and the situation. And I'm just like weighing things out in any given moment. I don't have any particular hard ideological stance about it.
Hey Grim, why are you so interested in your opinion? I don't know why you're so invested in this.
Oh no, I was asking it openly for anyone.
Like
So
it was
it's like
Ayn Rand, right? All
Cora's the only one responding to me.
active evil. So
Very
for
strange.
me, like it's what Cora said, and if I were to hyperbolize that, then I would use Ayn Rand's words. Altruism is an act of evil. It starts there and it ends there. So this self-sacrifice for the collective is so bizarre. In fact, it is so bizarre that it's evil.
Oh, that's great, Mom. Anyways, Grim, you got a girlfriend, Grim?
Or a boyfriend like Toast has. Which one would you?
Grim, you got a girlfriend? Come on. I just
It is kind of like the Cleavon effect.
Try not to talk to women on this app,
Everybody
dog.
that has high emotional intelligence and high empathy is willing to sacrifice themselves for the collective. Then all you have left in the collective is people that don't possess those properties. Yeah, exactly. So like your collective is stupid. Like,
yeah, you in fact what you're doing is creating a downfall for productivity and just high human potential. So as I said, eliminate the low life, stick to the upper life, the good life.
Can you folks like stop talking? I'm trying to meet my boy Grim over here. I'm trying to get to know him. You guys are really ramping on that.
So yeah,
are you really that lonely, Toast? Are you that lonely? Do you need someone to hold you? Is that what's going on?
Go ahead, Grim.
He's using the incel jargon. What are you doing there?
Go ahead, Grim.
The part that I think you may have just missed why I even opened up this line of questioning was I was saying that I size people up. I determine the quality of a person with these sorts of questions.
Why is that a virtue? Like, why is you sizing people up a virtue? Like,
Why is being judgmental a good thing?
yeah.
It just helps me to know the mentality or the mindset of the person I'm
But this is the
talking
thing.
to.
I just told you. I don't have hard ideologies. I don't really have a fixed mentality, right? I just like kind of skate through all my reference and situationally just like throw shit out there. I think very circularly, it loops around and around and around. And at any given moment, any statement I make might not be what I think like 2 seconds later. It's like, so if you're sizing me up based on an individual moment, you don't know who I'll be, 5 minutes from now. Are you really understanding me? No, you're getting fixed on an idea of me that may not exist.
Well, I mean, okay, to be fair then, and to be technical, let's say your answer to the question of how important do you think is humans' will to keep on existing, um, that response will be stamped, and maybe you'll change your idea later.
And then you
I won't
judge
hold
her,
to
right?
it.
And you might like put her on some kind of scale wherein the answer you're expecting based on what you think is right, obviously judgment entails like knowing the score, right? Uh, I'm assuming you're judging from 1:100, or I would judge like on a color scale because I've synesthesia. So I like place Cora somewhere in light blue, and you probably give her like 10% out of 100%, or a scale of from 1 to 10, like 2 maybe or 3, based on her answer, because you think the best answer is no, I care a lot for humanity, etc., right?
You're right.
So and then what in that moment, and you judge her, and then what how does that change
I look really good in light blue. So.
And then what?
And then what? Like, I'm trying to see utility in your line of questioning and
Right.
judgmental, like, states in the now. Because a bit later, when Cora changes her mind based on the situation, she probably scored an 8. And then what? And then what? And you keep like giving these scores to people, like everyone's carrying an ever-changing number on the top of their head. And then what? How does it serve?
Right. On one hand, I always strive to speak my truth, speak my mind, to be honest. And on the other hand, when I kind of get a better idea of the person I'm talking to, I'll maybe adapt and calibrate what I say, knowing what I know about the other person. So there's a bit of both going on where I try to be straightforward and blunt, but at the same time, if I think it'll help to sort of frame things in a more palatable way for the other person, knowing what I know about them, I'll do so.
Wouldn't that wouldn't that entail a change of state in your truth? So whilst your truth has the potential to hold, like say 100, you will lower your highest human potential, okay, of like holding that truth to say 3 or 4 or 30 or
Like,
40, right? You're bringing
like,
your score down based on
right.
another person. You're living for the sake of another. Why would you
I
do
don't
that?
really have a numerical scale for this kinds of things, but just to give you an example, I see a lot of atheist and theist debates on here, and sometimes I can tell when I'm listening to them kind of going back and forth, I can tell the atheist is like, how to say, not necessarily being gentle, but just kind of carefully going about how they're wording things and posing follow-up questions to where it would hopefully lead the theist toward the conclusion that he's aiming for. So sometimes it
I don't do that. I mean, I feel like I have the same sort of like prerogative as any other human being to describe what I'm experiencing in the universe. If you find that persuasive, that's not me trying to persuade you. That's just you finding it persuasive.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I feel there's a tinge of it. Uh,
Yeah, no, I can
The
see
people
that.
are like particularly,
Yeah.
I would say, people that are like hard theists like are particularly threatened by me when I talk because I'm not unhappy, right? And I experience this universe like so profoundly, like in ways that I think many of them haven't experienced through their theism. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm just saying that most theists that I've met don't really have those sorts of contemplative, ecstatic experiences that I do, right? Um, and so when I describe those things, they get threatened because their concept of what an atheist's life is like supposed to be like is not what I am, right? So, but
No,
that's
they say
not me
they're.
trying to convert them. That's just me
Oh my God, is this bitch
being
ever
a
gonna
human
stop
that
fucking
wants to
yapping, bro?
share
You
my
ever gonna stop
experience.
fucking
Shut the
yapping,
fuck up,
bro?
Greg.
Fuck you, faggot.
Anyway, see what I mean, Grim? Anyway, and it's just it's like you know, and so this is why I focus so much on, you know, whatever makes you happy, that's what I want for you, but just don't try to oppress me. And so it's kind of like you telling me I shouldn't share my experience because somebody might find it persuasive. Um, that's oppressive. I need to be able to connect with other human beings.
Yeah, I just got back. What's up with Greg's attitude? What's his problem? Who pissed in his Cheerios today?
Isn't he always like that though?
Well, I mean, does he have,
like he doesn't
does he have anything to offer besides like condescension and I'm above everybody? I mean, does Hegel give you like some sort of, you know, ability to see yourself as superior than other people? Do you play this every day, Greg?
Hey, go run for the bagel.
Greg, you there, buddy?
Also, Red says Vagel.
I need to remove him. He's being mean to Davidson. Elegant. He just doesn't allow for himself to stay. And maybe like Grimm is right in that case. Like in his mind, he thinks being condescending is like cool, right? And he does it. It doesn't allow him to freaking hang out.
What are you talking about? Wait, Graham is what, doing his, like, he wants to structure society a certain way, or what?
Yeah. Regal was the one that pointed out that Greg's got a problem, but
The problem is, Graham, when you structure your utopia based on your own predilections, you're gonna get a dystopia. And every time in history someone tried to make a utopia, it's always like the Handmaid's Tale. So why is that?
I think Greg has an extreme form of avoidant attachment.
That's Greg Thompson's.
He saw a Grimm though, right?
I think I've already
The avoidant and the narcissist. Do you have relationships with narcissists, Greg?
Dude, Greg was removed from the room, you lunatics. How
He
many
hasn't been in the room in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, Greg was just talking about Grimm.
Okay, never mind.
The man, the myth, the legend.
I used to try to remake the world. I was quite successful at it. I pretty much was the sort of like impetus behind my whole neighborhood center getting rebuilt and all that other shit. And there's all sorts of art around my neighborhood and better park shit and all of that. But you know, I'm old and tired now, and I just want to like, you know, float.
Same. Fuck your couch. And it's best when you don't care at some point, I think. And let it be. Forever sing for us, let it be. So, Grim, how do you think, or how do you feel and experience and value humanity and survival instinct? Grim?
You must be on the phone again.
Miss Andrew. Andrew. Unless have you not met that guy in your profile picture?
I would like to make some comments regarding survival instinct.
Go ahead, bruh.
Well, actually, as species, we started some mouse, yeah, and then we evolved to be something like wolves, small groups of carnivorous creatures, and it was painful. I'm sure we lost many individuals on this way during this transformation. Then from wolf structures, we just at the moment trying to convert us as a species to something like beehive structures, or worse than that, ant colonies. So that has already happened in the nature. If you want to live with these numbers of individuals in the nature, it has already happened some hundreds, millions of years ago. This is the only way out, apparently, like a colony structure. And the dynamics in this structure is very different than like a wolf family structure. Yeah. And it's a painful conversion. And we are just in the middle of it. Since 3 or 4 generations, we are experiencing this number of people with this density of population. And it will be ongoing. Yeah. There will be a mess. We will lose a lot of people. And many of them will get Darwin Awards like Greg. But at the end of the day, the ones who are respecting these colony structures will be the ones who will be surviving. They have the real surviving instinct. Consciously or unconsciously, it doesn't matter, but they will be the ones who will be surviving. The others will get Darwin Awards. That's obvious, I think.
Those who respect what? Say that again. Oh, sorry. Al, can you repeat that? Those who respect what?
Those who respect such a colony structure,
The system, right?
the system of, because it's in the nature already present. We cannot find or invent something which is not already tested in the nature. Nature decided for a colony structure for this much of individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Ants also already solved it some 130 million years ago. Bees also. And this is the only way. If you want to be present with that much of individuals, millions and millions and billions, that's the only way. So this wolf or this hunter structures with 20, 30 people, which already had our past in the last, I don't know, 300,000 years, it's obsolete. And this conversion will be very, very hard. And many of them will not be able to adapt themselves. And some nations at the moment, or some cultures, are ahead of us, like in China or India. They already experienced some since 3,000, 4,000 years, these dense populations. And their social expectations are different. If you have already experienced that, they are acting differently in a social environment. They are trying to adapt themselves. But in the Western world, most experienced people who still think like this hunter-gatherer mentality, and they are struggling with these things. Yeah, they cannot cope with that. And at the end of the day, the ones who really respect nature and accept that, okay, we will end up something like a colony. I wish it will be like something like bee colony, not an ant colony. But they will be the ones who will survive all this transformation for our species.
Yeah, but in the West too, like, don't you think like the person is like respecting the system by striving to get rich or whatever, right? Because the system is demanding that. So saying that that's not a kind of adaptation to the system or surviving in the system.
Can you summarize the question again? I couldn't get the.
Like you said, like so the West would like they're getting richer, or therefore, I mean, they're trying to get rich, right? So this sense of lack that is created because they too are trying to sort of respect the system. which is state capitalism, right?
Well, but the system is not sustainable because when you just check the numbers or the birth ratio or I don't know, any parameter that you take and check for the sustainability of a population, they look all bad in the Western world. Yeah, they are always negative. Nothing is positive. So I have doubt if they are sustainable. How will it look like in 100 or 150 years? But on the other hand, the communities which respect, like mafia or religious extremists, which respect these community structures, which are already yeah, proven to be successful during this evolution procedure, like ants and bees, the ones who respect these structures will be the ones who will be surviving. Yeah. The others will get a Darwin Award.
Then just think, no new structures can arise basically, and yet we see like new structures that become older structures like in due course of time. So are you saying that the populace of these new structures, the ones who the innovator, the beginners usually are like sacrificed for this to last long? You see like a demise of them, and then in the beginning, and then you see a birth again as this system becomes old. Because what you're saying is basically that no new system can come about.
I mean, it will be new for us, for our species, because, as I mentioned, maybe 99.99% of our history, we were in a hunter-gatherer groups, 20, 30 people, that's it. And if you think 4 generations before, your ancestors living without electricity and their life was quite similar to the ones 1,000 generations, 10,000 generations before. So since 3 or 4 generations, we are in an experiment. Of course, we are trying to find a new way for our species, but nature knows this already. Nature knows how this number of billions and billions of individuals can live together. And these are colony structures. They are already present in the nature. There is no surprise. So I think we are trying to evolve in this direction. And apparently, like our previous challenges, yeah, for example, converting ourselves from something omnivorous to carnivorous or from mouse structure to wolf structure, I'm sure that there was a mess, and many of the individuals couldn't make it. Also, using wheat as a main food source, it was also a painful transition. I think, and we lost many individuals on this procedure, and it will be the same or even worse at the moment.
Evolution is only a theory.
Hello, what did you say?
Hey guys, I had another phone call. What's going on now?
Did you hear what
I
else
think,
said?
I think the thing that with what Elle said is that we already live in colony-like structures. It's, we just don't perceive, because we can't, read the thoughts of animals that live in what we perceive as colonies. We don't know what they experience as a level of individualism. We can only guess. We see them like at the scale that they're at, and we think of them as completely unified. If you do anything like city planning, and you start looking at the way populations move and live and organize themselves at like a city scale, you start seeing that human beings live in colonies as well.
Right?
It's just that,
right? Or how expensive
yeah,
you want it.
yeah. So we already have sort of like hives, right? And each hive has its own unique personality based on the culture and region, etc. There's like if you are someone like me that's lived both in cities and in rural areas, you see the difference in the lifestyle and all of that, and resource sharing and the way that like industries organize themselves around agglomerations and things like that, and economies and stuff. It's all very hive-like. We're just so fixated on our own individuality that we don't want to recognize that we're just part of a big colony.
Definitely. That's what I'm also thinking.
Hey, when it comes to animals, right? Like, I am no expert, but I hear a lot of people saying, like, well, we don't really know if animals are pondering things and things. I want to say that we've gotten to a good level of scientific understanding and knowledge to where we can more or less uh, make a good estimation or assessment on the psychology of animals. I think animals are not that complicated to figure out, but that's just my uneducated opinion. I think
I can assure you they are quite complex, and even we cannot understand a virus because some virus has huge DNA sequences, and we don't have any idea what is that for.
oh, I'm sure they're complex, just in different ways, not in ways that we kind of describe ourselves as complex. Now, I have kind of uh, I've taken glances of things like that. Some animals play. They engage in playful behavior, like wild dogs or something. They might wrestle with each other as a form of play, and well, maybe it's how we would describe as play, but to them it could be just like sparring in a sense, kind of like when human children kind of wrestle with one another. They're just playing with each other, but they're also competing in a way, and it's all mixed in competition and play.
It's
More like
it's
practice.
simulation of an hunt procedure. They're hunting, but as a game, it's just you learn how to hunt, and this is just a practice.
Right. So yeah, maybe I mean that they're not so complex in that I don't think that they have like deep critical thinking ability. Like, they won't take logical steps toward um, some kind of philosophical conclusion, for instance. Not like humans.
Grim, I want to give an example. I have 3 kids. They wanted to have some rabbits. Actually, they wanted to have one single rabbit. And yeah, I went to a shop, not shop, but government institution. They were just distributing these animals like that. And we want to have, my kids loved one of these rabbits. They said, yeah, we would like to have this one. We said, okay, we want to get it. And the guy who was responsible, he said, no, I cannot give you this single rabbit. And I asked, why? He said, no, these are 3 of them in a group. You should take all 3 at once. Why? He said, because they are complex animals. If you just just take one out of this group, he will be depressed. He will be very unhappy about this because they have a history, millions of years of evolution, in which they evolved to be a part of a small group. Yeah, they have a very hard hierarchy and very complex structures, social structures. If you isolate one of them, this will be very depressive for this. And we couldn't take it because I didn't have enough place for 3 of them. But at home, back to home, I thought about this. Hey, there is a minimum number of rabbits that you can keep to make them happy. But I haven't read or saw anything about human beings. What is our minimum number? Or what are the conditions for us to be at least provided so that we will be happy and not depressed? To my surprise, there are very, very few things about this. And yeah, I would object your suggestion that they are simple. No, they are very complex. Animals or anything which has billions and billions of evolution, they are all complex.
Yeah, I tried to say they're not simple. They are complex, just not in the ways that we humans are mentally.
I can give another example. Just take one kid, isolate these small children, while the others in the small town playing outside together, and just give this kid books to read, world classics and so. And he should see from the window the others playing outside. And you will see in his eyes the deep thoughts that you mentioned. These are not deep thoughts, these are depression signs, yeah? Because he's living something which is against his nature. And maybe we are at the moment experiencing the same problem. We are living quite away from our natural instincts and natural environment that were evolved. So we are all like this kid alone in a room while others are playing outside because we are isolated, single. We have deep thoughts which are actually, it shouldn't be there. Life shouldn't be boring actually. We are bored or we are depressed because we are living in a social structure which is quite different than the one which our ancestors has already experienced.
Sorry, this is a monkey picture. Hey, L, so I'll tell you, look, again, I am no expert, okay? I just want to make that disclaimer. This is all just coming from the best
Just
common
respond
sense
to what
that I
he
could
said.
muster.
Grim, just respond,
Yeah.
like have a chain of convo because I think Grim is having a convo in Grim's head.
Yes, I am. So, look, hold on. L, I want to present you with something here. You know what allows humans to be able to have these deep lines of thinking and stuff and stuff? It's our linguistic ability. It's our ability to engage in thoughts with language, and that's what animals lack.
That's not the case. All animals have some form of language. They just don't have verbal language like we have. Like it might not be to the degree of complexity that we have, but bees communicate information to each other. Obviously all primates have levels of communication. Wolves obviously communicate with each other. Coyotes. I mean, that howling isn't just atmospheric. They're actually communicating with each other.
Yes.
You might not call it language, but there's grammar to it, and there's vocabulary to it.
Some human beings howl at each other as well to communicate. I forget which.
So all valid points. What Cora said. Yes, I accept that. Now, again, here's the difference: is that humans are able to record their thoughts, and that's pretty big. How to say, it gives permanence to thoughts and ideas. That's something that animals can't do.
Yeah, I mean that is, and I think that's part of, the the unique thing about humans is that our knowledge, our reference are based on an aggregate, not on a single individual experience or a single like generation group experience.
Animals have
Your mic is picking up all kinds of noise.
animals have cultural transmission as well. It's not just they don't have reading and writing, but they are able to generationally transmit knowledge.
Yeah, generationally, but it does get distorted over time, and so like we are the advent of like recorded information is what allows much more. It's like a phase transition to much more information being stored than a single individual could possibly communicate, or a single group could pass on generationally.
I was just going against that. There's like consensus on the panel that animals are just like fucking every 15 seconds is blank slate, like, you know.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in between. And I think the other thing too that we don't give animals credit for is they do have some level, you know, depending on the animal, of reflective consciousness, right? Where they're thinking about thinking, you know, or they're thinking about themselves or their place in the world. You know, we're not unique in that way. It's just the degree to which we engage in it.
So the Lion King is based on a true story?
Yes, and you're Scar. That's your character.
I'm being facetious. But yeah.
I'm not trying to downplay, you know, animals. I hope you can pick up on that. I'm just saying that they're.
I think Elle was onto something, because, like, you guys ever heard of that rat paradise? Mouse or rat paradise?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Point,
Like,
yeah.
Like, let's have a bunch of stuff and just give it to them, and, you know, they don't have to forge or scurry around or, like, do anything, and it just takes all the meaning out of their lives to the point where, like, I don't want to get graphic here, like, to the point where, like, the mama baby rats are, like, getting pulled out of their dens and getting, like, F'd by the male rats at convenience, and then, like, side of the side of the den where it has all the food, like, there's a guard watching this half of the fucking tank to make sure the ones on the other side don't get to it. So I think they put water on one side and food on the other, and, like, it just went nuts. But they had all the shit that they needed in there, and it's like they lost their meaning or purpose or value or something. It got pretty fucking crazy in there.
Yeah, because they are not wired to live in such a dense population. That's maybe the main point. Because there were some continuation of these experiments which were partially not published.
I think it's more analogous to like the Paradise Matrix versus the Nightmare Matrix versus the Just Right Matrix, you know. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can observe all these anomalies which happened in this mouse paradise. They are already happening in our society. We are reacting in the same way.
That's kind of like when you know Abrahamics describe their version of heaven, kind of sounds like hell, and vice versa. It's like, do you ever stop to think that we're kind of in the optimal condition right now? Like, there's novelty, there's things to struggle for and against, you know, there's relationships.
What? 72 versions is hell for you?
Well, I mean, for a woman, yeah, 72 versions would suck. I wouldn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Remember how Warrior would say, not just for you, it is upgrade. Allah will make you all mans. When you become mans in heaven, you will have 32.
Hey, I have a question for Cora.
Yes.
Do you know that movie and song "Free to Be You and Me"?
I vaguely recall it from when I was a child.
Exactly. I just think it's very poignant right now in these times.
What movie? What?
Free to Be You and Me.
No, I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, you're a little. I don't know. It's weird because I have friends that grew up in school systems and districts that are in California as well. And they distinctly remember it. Some of them don't. Some of them didn't have it. Hadn't even crossed their minds. And then I've got
Some of
people
they
that have
put you in
it.
the auditorium and make you watch a film.
Yeah, it's from 1972, so it's kind of like for the kids that were born in like the early 70s, got to experience it in like, like 1978, 9, 10, or 80,
What was it, like eugenics or something? Like, what was the message?
No. It's more like a
No,
diversity
it's
and
not.
tolerance.
It's more like
this is how the Jews
okay.
run the world banking system, kids.
No, it's more like the age of innocence, kind of like being an individual. Yeah, kind of hippie. It's good.
We had this one where like this old man carved a like a little toy wooden canoe and then put it in, I don't know, like a gutter or something, and then the camera just followed where it went for like forever. That was like what we watched.
You know, an interesting one. Think about this. Were you in class when they wheeled out the television and showed you the space shuttle blowing up and then wheeled the TV back in and just all went back to math?
That was third grade. That was Mrs. Hitchcock, and yeah, that's exactly what we were doing.
Yeah,
Fucking insane, huh?
I was actually in the school library with one other kid because we got sent away from class during that, and they didn't do it for the other classrooms, so like we were the only 2 kids in school that saw it live. It was crazy.
Isn't that crazy? And it's interesting because looking, I mean, these are things that now are like surfacing differently, right? You know what I'm saying? And the spin of all this algorithms what we're getting, and the conspiratorial talk and more of these revelations that we're experiencing. And I never really thought about it that much, and now I'm thinking about it even more. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, holy fuck, that's crazy. We just all like. Well, whoa, wait. Okay, kids, let's just go back to math. Wild.
If you lived through those times, it's not that crazy to understand.
To understand what, Graham? To understand what, Graham?
To understand why people snapped right back to whatever they were doing.
Right. I think the larger point is that in today's, the way that we can assess all these like snapshots of things that have occurred, like watching Building 7 free fall down from a controlled demolition, but then being told later that it really wasn't a controlled demolition, to now being told that it was a controlled demolition, but it was planned that day, which is fucking impossible. Stuff like that. Or, oh, are these astronauts still alive somewhere? Because they followed the tracks, and this chick's at a university, this guy's at an institutionalized research place, this guy, and like going, wait, is that the same guy? That's weird. Like all these snapshots, or even just the trauma, right? The desensitization, like just all the considerations and the Venn diagrams. I never claim knowledge to anything. I never say, hey, this is what it means. This is what it was. I'm always on the fence most of the time. But that's the bigger picture. I'm just kind of bringing forth. That's all. Because there was a teacher on board, right? That was the reason we were
Kristen
watching it
McCullough.
in the first place.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the whole reason we were watching it in the first place.
Yep.
Like, because they didn't televise other space launches, right?
No.
That one was shown to people that were children, and then it blows up
Definitely this was a Titanic moment. Yeah, this was a
Yeah. The interesting thing is that later on in my in the year between my sophomore and junior year of college, I got a free summer term paid for by the Ronald E. McNair Post Baccalaureate Achievement Scholars Fund. So, and he was the black astronaut that was on the Challenger. So yeah.
You know another interesting one, and this is just like these snapshots. So I'm saying they're all on the floor. They're not even in shoe boxes, right? With this, is there any truth to the photographer that was there for Trump's ear shooting? Is also the same photographer that was there for Bush's response in the classroom when he heard the 9/11 towers went down?
I mean,
That's crazy.
I don't know that it's that out of the ordinary. Maybe he's just the photojournalist assigned to like the presidential sort of like junket. So.
When you were saying something about showing kids a space shuttle crash, it made me think of why in movies violence is okay generally for most people to see, including children, and sexual content isn't.
Probably like misplaced Puritanism in this country. I don't know about. I think it's different in other countries, right?
Like blood and gore, that's okay to watch, but sexual stuff isn't.
Yeah, sexual stuff seems to be more deviant.
You know, I think it's like, as with sexual content, it's arousing and it's about like sensual pleasure, and that is something that whereas just violence in whatever form is like not seen as that corrupting of the mind or something like that. That's why like smoking cigarettes is generally seen as more okay than smoking marijuana, because marijuana is like a psychoactive drug.
Do you know some of the history behind marketing cigarettes was done with the feminist movement and women's rights kind of stuff, where they would like intentionally plant cigarettes in some of these marches and publicly seen quote unquote spectacles, if you will, of women's rights, and they would actually give cigarettes to women so that it publicized it as being like a freedom kind of effort and like a women's empowerment kind of like individualized thing.
Remember Virginia Slims, honey?
Jordan, remember Virginia Slims? Yeah.
The ad campaign.
Tell me, I probably do.
It was always a picture of like a kind of like model type, like modern woman lady, walk to work or on vacation in like New England or something like
in her slacks.
Yeah, exactly.
With an ascot.
And the slogan was, "You've come a long way, baby."
Oh yeah. You deserve it. Yeah.
I must leave soon, but I would like to make some remarks about the belief, the topic. If you are really interested to understand what is a belief system or why is it necessary or not, you can check two things which I find very interesting that happened during the French Revolution. They had two belief systems during this period. The very first one was cult of reason, which is an atheistic version. But Robespierre introduced after some years the second version, which was an improved one, because maybe he realized these people, the ordinary people, need something. And he introduced cult of supreme being. And they really invested some intellectual work on it. Just check it on the internet, and I find it very interesting. And unfortunately, many of his intellectual work has disappeared. But I'm still trying to understand what was his motivation. And I believe that he was right somehow. But about belief, it was a belief in the humanity, and it was always there. And check Robespierre. Have a good night.
Take it easy. Robert. What? What was it?
Robespierre.
I want to write it down.
Robes. First name Robes. The second name is Pierre. Pierre.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, it's actually all one word. That was like his.
He's the guy with who promoted the guillotine the most.
Yeah.
But
Not
it
my
was a
favorite
surprise today what
philosopher,
he really achieved intellectually. Just check it. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah, he did, but he also was, ushered in a sort of authoritarian regime that was so bad that you had a counter-revolution. So, yeah.
But if you read his letters, he really can convince you that it was necessary. Have a good night.
Just curious, how many of you guys are doing something else at the same time that you're here?
I am.
I am.
Working.
I'm doing useless puzzle games.
I'm just masturbating.
Chord voices? That's weird.
I'm sorry, was I off mic? Sorry. I was
I'm
just kidding, Grant. I'm not masturbating. Apologies.
Yeah.
Mostly this app is like background noise for me, so I have to often go like, what the fuck are we talking about? Because I'm usually working on something. And I space out a lot. I don't even know what started this conversation.
Well, I tell people I'm a judger. I judge people based on how they respond to a handful of questions I have.
Do you want to use your tricks on me?
So, how much do you care about humanity?
I think I give enough for my, to be honest, for my circle. I give a fuck about other countries, poverty and stuff like that, but how much do I give a fuck if I can't do anything about it? That makes me sad. I don't know.
How much do you care about the future continued existence of humans?
That's a hard one because I think humans are disgusting and we're a detriment to the earth.
Or sorry, I think your mic is picking up some sound and reverbing it.
Is it drumming in the background?
Okay, I think it was on Cora's end.
Oh. But yeah, that's a tough one because I really haven't, I lose faith a lot in the way things are going, even with us, pushing wars and stuff like that. Just, very disheartening to have faith in, humanity. But I hope that we can be smarter human beings, but I just don't think that that's going to be the case, unfortunately.
Okay, so what about for better or worse? Just simply the bottom line, the continuation of the human species, that the human species continues to stay alive. How much does that matter to you?
A lot. I think that's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because as long as, if you reason it out, as long as the human race does continue to exist and not go extinct, it still has that chance to turn itself around in a moral sense, or in the sense that you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we could have amazing things on Earth, bro. Human minds are powerful.
Okay.
You don't believe that? Think about this. We can fly.
No, I do. I just wasn't sure if you were meaning in a sarcastic way or not.
Well,
Just
look,
from your tone.
I mean, look at how quickly we fuck shit up, right? Like, we can, we can be the masters over grizzly bears, tigers, sharks, and orcas, right? Because we're humans, where they used to be scary monsters. Now they're not even, now we got to worry about them surviving because we build stuff next to them, right? We can destroy the ocean with plastics really quickly. We can pollute the skies, right? That we have no bounds. So let's just wrangle our fucking selves. We've learned a lot. Brains are powerful. We can design and engineer things. We could have a beautiful, amazing existence with half the population or less than that and have everyone be good to go, but we're just not yet.
Okay, Thanos.
Any other questions for me, Grim?
So far, you've answered well. And I think maybe I would just kind of reword sort of along the same line of questioning, how much, or would you support humans fighting to the bitter end for survival and for life?
I think that's hard as well. That's a hard question because we're given everything nowadays. It's not like we're surviving like an animal has to survive out in the wild. I mean, that'd be nice if we could put all the politicians out there and go under one bubble and watch them square off and learn, but it'd be nice. But I don't think that we live in a society that's going to be capable, to even answer that question. For survival, right now we're worrying about paying rent and paying for, Apple TV or our cell phone bills, and it's such extravagance, And I don't think what you mean by survival and what I mean by survival would be the same, because I live kind of off-grid situations, and I hunt and forage, so I think I would fare off a lot better than somebody who's a city person that depends on a bus to get to the coffee shop, and pay for a coffee where, there's different types of survival out there, right?
No,
Because
I did the ultimate existential sense of humankind in its entirety surviving.
Wait, Graham, let me specify here. Do you mean after the foxes have known our taste? After the raven has had its say?
It sounds like you're quoting something that I don't know about.
it's a song. Honey is just trolling me because he found out what kind of music I listen to.
I didn't find it out.
No, you
I
pegged
didn't
me
even
though.
find it out.
You did peg it. You
I just
called it.
nailed it.
You nailed it. That's right. I think I have a nihilistic sort of sense a little bit on things, but ultimately I'm an absurdist about things. So try to remain optimist and try to find meaning in putting my pants on in the morning, carrying out my day. That's kind of survival for me. And so a lot of it is mental, right? Because we live in a shitty fucking world where all this disaster and horrible shit's going on, but you gotta carry on and be a part of society, and that's so that's what I mean. What do you mean by survival in this instance? Because there's so many people struggling to make ends meet on the streets,
right.
Or
Not so much about the here and now, but about the future existence of humanity. Humanity's ability to withstand natural disasters, to escape the catastrophic of
I think
the later stages of the sun.
With technology and stuff like that, excelling at a rapid rate, I think that we are better for those things, and understanding, okay, there's a tornado coming your way, you need to evacuate. We have instant relaying of messages and emergency, relays to help us in that, where we wouldn't, we'd, back in the day, they'd probably smell, I smell rain coming, you know what I mean? So
Like, let's say we found out there was an asteroid headed towards Earth that's going to destroy everyone. Would you support scientists, engineers, and all other experts involved in that area to try to figure out a way to?
I mean, they could do whatever they want, but I mean, the people that are going to be aboard some sort of spaceship to shuttle people out, it's gonna be people of affluent or like have a lot of money, right? That are going to be able to do that. So that's not really looking good as a whole for humanity. They're only going to take the prime, sort of people, where like they're going to categorize whether this person is worthy of leaving the planet or not. And that's kind of horrible. But in a sense,
you don't think the meaning of that value would change?
Hey, just real quick.
No.
I caught a glance at Abby's comment. I'm new to the app. I've been here like 2 weeks. I figured out how to make my own house, and I did start a few of my own rooms now. And I found myself opening my own room when I didn't see any room that interested me on the list of rooms. But yeah.
Actually, the first room I saw you in, Graham, was John Lee's room. And he's a homeless guy who, one day.
Like he lives in his car?
Profile says
Yeah, he lives in his car. Yeah.
See, his profile said he was a retired businessman.
Oh, no.
Well, you can own like a fruit stand and be a businessman. It doesn't really mean anything.
No wonder you guys were talking about homeless people so much that day.
Oh, that makes sense.
But Abby, yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, I just kind of, flock to wherever there's a lot of people. It happened to be this room.
Oh, let's
Like,
get
I
dinner,
saw
Isabella.
more of a chance to have or to hear an interesting conversation in
Skip
this
dinner.
room out of all the rooms. See, I also think that I'm not seeing a lot of rooms because I haven't added them somehow. So the list I can see is not like all the rooms I could go to. And so I've just been adding more houses and more people in hopes that I'll find like other interesting rooms will pop up on my list.
Great. How it works out for you?
I mean, I just don't know how to work this app, so that's just what I've been doing.
Which leads me to the next question. When did you download the app?
When did I?
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago.
Oh, wow. So you're incredibly new.
Hello?
Have you ever engaged in, like, online, like, anonymous media before this, or?
Like, talking to people online like this?
Completely random people online. Yeah.
Hello? Hey, I don't know if you know this, Grim, but Abby's actually using an AI voice synthesizer. You're not talking to a real person. You're talking to somebody using a mouse and a computer or a cell phone. It's not a real person, Grim. Abby is actually a toxic mutant who was rescued from a slime sludge disaster. But it's a joke. This is open discussion.
I also wondered why a guy would name himself Abby. I thought that was a girl's name.
See,
long story. Anyways, who's responsible for bringing John Kitover up? Because I will have your ass in a vice script for like the next 3 weeks because you brought up John Kitover on this goddamn fucking piece of shit.
No, it's not me.
your problem
I
is...
swear to God, when I find out whoever brought him up here, your ass is mine. I will find out.
See, Grim...
Well, so why are you masquerading as Barth? Like, what the hell's going on?
Who said you can fucking take Barth's name? Fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. At least Rose and Abby, mutually exchanged identities,
Well, I want to go back
There's
to...
no way. There's no way Barth gave you consent to use his profile.
What I want to say is Grimm was saying that he's adding all these people, hoping to have
Kitover
a
on
room.
stage? Who brought him up on stage? Who did it?
You know whose voice that sounds like? They kicked me. They couldn't take it.
Why? And I'm going to land my plane right here because I want to hear from all the leftists in the room. The leftists who claim to care about women's rights are on the side of the jihadis who are killing women. The gay leftists who claim they're in favor of gay rights, they're on favor of jihadis. What I ask all the leftists in the room, what other possible reason would there be an alliance between leftists and jihadis that promise to murder leftists? The only reason why every leftist on Clubhouse and every jihadi on Clubhouse is working in partnership is they temporarily have the same goal. The goal is to genocide the heritage Americans. The goal is to genocide Western civilization. They know that as soon as they've successfully genocided Western civilization, the jihadis and the leftists are going to go to war. But temporarily, they're working as lovers and partners to genocide you. And I have receipts. I'm done speaking. Fuck off.
Riza, you know as well there's right wing Shia from Iran that wants chaos in the Gulf region. You know that. We know that, you know, but now they're just going with the flow about, you know, everyone now is against, you know, the U.S. and Israel and you know what they're doing. No, let's not forget what the regime is about. The Iranian regime is about. They're not angels. Let's be honest about that. You know, they're not angels, and it's just time came now. They knock on the door, you know, and they're like, "Hey, are you guys here?" You know, but they're not angels. They're not like they want peace in the Middle East. They don't want peace in the Middle East. They want chaos in the Middle East. Let's be straight about that first, you know, and then we can have a conversation, because it feels like the conversation right now here, we're pushing or bullying the Iranians. No, we're not bullying the Iranians. Absolutely not, you know. These people have their own agenda. They have their own way of looking in the Middle East. They want to control the Middle East. They want to pressure their vision, their, you know, religion, their, you know, in that area. And people don't want that. And as you see, the Middle East are not with you. If they were with you, if you had a coalition, they would have been with you, you know. So there's a lot of nuance in this. The funny thing is that people from America don't understand the real nuance in the Middle East. They just hear what the media tells them. A couple of, you know, podcasters or whatever they talk, and they don't know what's happening. They don't live the life that people live around them. People live in terror, you know, because
many more do than you want to portray it to be.
A lot of people want progress.
Since you came in the room, many millions of people understand and get it. I would subscribe and say at least half of the 80 million who voted for Trump understand what you claim that he don't understand.
No, but there's a lot that don't.
About a single thing you said. Nothing
no,
personal, bro.
Look,
you're talking to a room full of people who are way more understanding than you want to give credit to.
I'm not talking to people in the room. I'm talking to people maybe in the crowd that don't know what's going on.
People that are bitching about the people who are complaining on the right, like myself, the people that are not happy with what Trump decided to do. There's some of us on the right. We are well aware of the IRGC and how rotten and horrible they are, and how much they hate the Arabs, how much they hate the Israelis, how they're a constant source of fucking trouble and support a lot of terrorism. I get it, and they're brutal to their own people. But just because they're bad guys doesn't mean I want our country to be dragged along into it.
Yes, and that's here.
It's not us that
This,
do okay. It's
see,
not us
see,
that
see,
do
see, now.
dragging us into
Wait,
bullshit.
Happy.
See now.
Hold on. I'm saying, chill.
It's a different conversation.
Yo, Pepe, I get your point, but we've been dragged into it for 49 years. Like, we fucked up in the beginning. We had a bunch of fucking idiotic fucking dignitaries and presidents and administrations that fucked around. Granted, we already accept that. But what we have been doing for 50 years almost, we've dragged into it multiple times. So, like, what point do you want? Like, you should be, like, the people of France should be able to go to a fucking nightclub and not have to worry about getting shot while you get to go on vacation. You shouldn't have to worry about, someone living in San Bernardino in California and have to worry about a husband and wife team going down and just shooting you. You should be able to go to a church. Like, all of these things are true. I think, like, people are like, well, I don't want to be dragged into this. I get it, but you're not being dragged into that fight. The fight's here. The fight is been ongoing. We've just been doing little hit pieces. The best way to go about it now is just to say, you know what? I've had enough of it. Let's just kill it all off, and then we'll let it rebuild from there and see what happens. Maybe in another 100 years.
There's been a lot of proxy wars. Yemen, Bahrain, Shia. That's all proxy wars. And since before this war, there's always these small, kind of, they start this kind of, opposition, and they want to clean up the government, and that's all supported by Iran since way back. I lived in Saudi. I know exactly what I'm talking about. They do that. They do that. It's all. It's always been that.
But no, majority of this room doesn't give a shit about what happens in Saudi Arabia outside of our economic interests. No one gives a shit about Yemen. If I had my way, Yemen would have been off the map for the coal incident. So for my perspective, I don't really care about all the proxy wars that you guys have infighting. That sounds like something you guys need to sort out. The U.S. is just tired of having to pay the price, having our men and women have to sit there and patrol the seas, put themselves in danger, and just to protect our shipping. That's what I'm pissed off about. I'm pissed that you guys can't figure to pull your own heads out of your own asses and put together a government that can coexist when the vast majority of the Middle East is now working with Israel, is now having economic ties and prosperity, and you guys want to fucking somehow go back to mud huts and go fucking somehow it's a champion.
Okay. All right, I get your point. Yes, you just so. Why is that problem? Where does this problem start? So right now, where we're talking, at this point right now, Iran right now have that power, all right, and they're the most sophisticated or.
That Islam, this is all bullshit. That Islam, this is all bullshit.
Go ahead, talk. Take your point.
Where we make the mistake.
I just did.
Like, you think which Arab countries is doing business with Saudi, and also is a great ally to United States of America, Saudi Arabia, right? What would happen to you?
All the Gulf regions, they are the same.
Hold on. What would happen to you if you convert from Islam to Christianity in Saudi Arabia today, in 2026? What would happen to you? What would happen to you? Do you know?
I'm from Sweden, so I'm not from Saudi Arabia. So
It's the same. It's the same shit in any Arab Muslim nation.
Oh.
It's the same thing because Islam is not compatible with the Western world, and you cannot.
Thank you. That's why I want none of you fucking people coming to Europe
Oh,
or
you gave me a
to
number. You
America.
wanted
And
to
I
go on
think
a date.
Europe needs to fucking deport every single Muslim Middle Easterner out of their fucking country. I agree.
At the same time, you guys have no business there. Leave them the fuck alone.
I agree. We would outside of our outside of shipping routes and basically anything that's we should not be getting involved. And this after this, hopefully everybody just tells Israel to fuck off.
It's a cycle.
We should not be getting involved on their behalf, on anybody's behalf. fuck all of those countries that are over there. And yes, I do think we should leave you alone. We shouldn't go into your countries. You guys can butcher each other, rape each other, do whatever the fuck it is you like to do to each other, and we should just stay the fuck out of it.
Come to Los Angeles and see where right on Pico Boulevard is the Jewish quarter, and less than about 2 miles away is Little Iran. And these people seem to be able to live in complete peace and harmony.
You know what's funny, PP?
I know the Persians are
yes, they live in peace together, and they're completely separated areas.
Yeah, I get it. The Persian Americans, I get it. The Persians, unlike Arabs, they're not as inbred, and they're smarter, and a lot of things are better about them, and they're not as religious generally, the Arabs. But you also, if you look at the Persian diaspora, you're kind of selecting for those that tend to be more secular and more educated, so they tend not to cause problems. But I mean, even then, at the end of the day, do I really want Persians? Not really. I mean, these people are still tribal and
but here's what you're missing is the people in Iran, it's like, what is it, 40% are under the age of 30 or something like that. It's this huge percentage. And all they want to do is fuck and drink and smoke and live the fucking life that we have. They want to be Westerners. They are so not.
Is it our job to
They
make
are.
that happen for them?
They're moving towards the West. They were Western before 50 fucking years.
Yeah, but I mean, how many Persians have you been around? I mean, no offense, but these people are pretty fucking obnoxious. I mean, a lot of them are obnoxious.
Going all the way back to the 80s, my friend. I have Persian friends. I know these people, and they don't hate Jewish people. And the Jewish people here in LA don't hate the Persians.
They don't have a reason to hate Jewish people. Why would they?
If you give them a chance to live peace,
I think it's the Islamic. I think it's the Islamic regime that forced this kind of.
Correct. And once you remove that, everything will work itself.
No, I mean, do you really want me to get into?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you opposed to having a democratic country in the Middle East? Like,
oh, I don't care. I don't think most of them. Maybe Iran can do it, but I think at the end of the day, most Muslim countries and the populations there are not capable of having a democracy.
No, I've heard that before. I was double checking, but you're not opposed on the location or anything and what they plan to.
No, I think they should overthrow the IRGC.
Okay.
That'd be a good thing.
Okay, Chef Breck, you've been trying to get in, and welcome to the stage. If you want to come on in here and talk about stuff. Chef, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. That's heading out. What happened, where we run into the mistake is that we try to put our Western values and mindset into the Middle East, having spent quite a number of years over there. It goes back to the tribal instinct. They work on a different mindset of what they're looking at as far as nationalism goes. And you have to wait until the younger generation. They may have the 30 unders who are ready to step up, but you can go there as an outside force and try to instill your will. But it happened in Iraq, it happened in Afghanistan, it happened everywhere we go. We build up a subset of people. They're supposed to take over. Once we pull out, they fall. But there's not a nation in the earth that can really mess with us. He was strategic with taking out Venezuela, went after Iran, that removes basically China from being able to have a multi-front war with us. We took out the two places that they could stage. And nobody did anything about it. Then we also showed that. Then we also showed that all of our allies that were 80 years removed from World War II, that guess what? You all knew that we didn't need you. We're going to do it anyway. You can't help us. We've shown that you let your armies and navies go to shit. Hey, it is what it is. Walk softly, carry big stick, forget playing with their games. That's all I have to say.
Thanks. Thank you, Chef.
And occasionally hit people with that stick just so they know you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, Shep is the only person that makes me nervous in all of Clubhouse.
Yeah,
He's
I'm not
one of
gonna
the
lie.
few.
I'm a little scared here, Brad. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know something about him.
He's a soldier.
I think I could win, but if you give Shep anything beyond a 22 pistol, I might be in trouble.
You both might be.
Yeah, but how big is your stick? I mean, that's always the question.
It's the best 3 inches and 30 seconds of anybody's life.
I am curious. I do have a question.
I'd like a corn muffin.
William, since you said you're around these Persians so much, it's like, where did, it's almost like God gathered these people, and you have like the tackiest fucking people in the world, like all come out of one fucking region of the world. Like, I don't know what it is about them.
Gaudy?
They're just
tacky. I don't know about that.
very gaudy, and to the extent that it makes them look cheap and like just extremely superficial. And it's just like, you people are so fucking. It's such a fucking turnoff that it's just I get like goosebumps just looking at these fucking.
The other one is.
Let it go. If they can both agree to not eat bacon, and the rest of us go, bacon's good. If they have that in common, they'll work everything out.
PP, man, I've been thinking like, I'm not a politician or from any, but I've been thinking about this like kind of war, like this war, a lot, and there's a lot of picking sides now, because this war now is being this. I'm gonna say it straight. It's became American Israel against Iran and Islam. It became a religious war now.
I don't think it's necessarily a religious war. It's religious in a bunch of.
That's how I see it right now.
But I don't. You can see it that way, but it's not. Like that's the thing is.
No, there's some religion. No, there's definitely religion
not
involved.
religious from the United from Trump's standpoint. So
There is from Trump's standpoint. There is from a lot of his base.
Religion doesn't even exist. It's just political. It's just political. There is no God. There's no God. There's just man. It's just political. And
Let me finish my point.
It's about money. Okay?
It's not.
And it's not. It is. That's what's really.
No, it's not. It's a bunch of it's religion and tribalism in general. For fuck's sake. And then there's a lot of geopolitical shit involved.
May I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
So, essentially, and I've been calling it for months, the Great Yehudi-Shia War, right? It was always about religion, and it's always been about religion at the end of the day. Before there were resources, before there was oil, it's always been about religion. And this war was inevitable. It was going to happen.
Man has the right to kill those who thwart these rights. The slave shall serve on defeat. Love is the law. Love under will. Man has the right to live by
His own law.
shall serve of it the earth. Love is the law. Love under will.
as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he To man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Free man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, mold, build as he will, to trust as he For man has a right to love as he will. Take your fill of love as he will. Where and with whom he will. If it we Five man has a right to kill those who thwart these rights. The slaves shall serve. Hell 50. Love is the Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. To man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth.
I'm not the one that hasn't been going on mute. He's been not on mute.
Trying to have a conversation. Let the conversation happen.
Put the Budweiser down. Put the Budweiser down. Bye. I'm not even drinking. I'm smoking weed. Somebody's self-medicating. Hey, yeah, so.
Point of order, moderators. Moderators. People are going to be here all day wasting their time talking about nothing. You can go to the gym or read a book or do something productive.
Ukraine, from both of the superpowers that are like in the middle of their military operation.
Free man has the right to think what he will.
live by his own law.
To live in the way that he wills to do. To work as he will. To play as he will. To rest as he will. To die when and how he will.
To man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Three men
to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, mold, build as he will, to dress as he will,
on the face of the earth.
Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will.
to man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Three man has the right to think what he will,
to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, and mold as he will, to dress as he will. For man has the right to love as he will. Take your thin will of love as he will. right to kill those who would thwart these rights. The slave shall serve.
Love is the law. Love
is the law. Love under
The unicorn is speech.
The unicorn is speech. Rule the unicorn!
How well shalt thou master the silent answer than a magician at the right hand gateway?
Can't delete it.
Here are practices. Each may last for a week or more.
Avoid using some common word, such as and or the or but. Use a paraphrase.
Avoid using some letter of the alphabet, such as T or S or M. Use a paraphrase.
Avoid using the pronouns and adjectives of the first person. Use a paraphrase of thine own ingenium. Devise others. On each occasion that thou art betrayed into saying that thou art sworn to avoid, cut thyself sharply upon the writs.
Can't play those. Those are illegal to play. Can't play those.
Knock on a door. Make you knock on a door. Powerful war song of man.
Learn first, O thou who aspirest unto our ancient order.
Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he wills, to play as he wills, to rest as he wills, to die when and how he
think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, mold, build as he will, to dress as he For man has the right to love as he will. Take your fill, will of love as he will. Man has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights. The slaves shall serve. Adios, 50 years. Love is the law. To live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when, how he will. And man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Free man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, mold, build as he will, to dress as he For man has the right to love as he will. Take your fill and will of love as he will. Man has the right
has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when, how he will. A man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Free man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, mold, build as he will, to dress as he For a man has the right to love as he will. Take your fill and will of love as he will. Man has the right to kill those who would for these rights. The slaves shall serve. I will sweep out. Love is the law. Love and Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way